Perhaps in this controversy, the Samoans themselves hold the answer, and their evidence is of crucial significance.
Well, I went to the University of Hawaii in 1948 to take some courses in the University of Hawaii. And it was during an anthropology class that I realized something was being taught that was not in accordance with our way of life and culture. And during this anthropology class, I got up and objected to Professor Mason, who was the instructor. Told him I do not believe, and I did not believe at that time, to what Margaret Mead was saying in her book about the sex life of the Samoan young people. And he said to me, "How do you know?" And he said, "Well, I should know. I grew up in that culture. I am of the age Margaret Mead is writing about." And that is not true.
I think she made up her mind that she's going to write that theory according to what she believed, but not according to what the people are living here. Because the whole book is just totally opposing our own custom and culture, the way we live, the way we protect our young girls.
Margaret Mead took away our, perhaps not our humanity so much, as our oneness with other human beings.
Remarkably, a search for Mead's adolescent girls of the 1920s leads to the discovery, more than 60 years later, of Mead's close associate and chief informant, 86-year-old Fa'apua'a Fa'amu. Her account will settle once and for all the controversy that has long surrounded Margaret Mead's coming of age in Samoa.
E pe fsilia ku le finge po a mea o e fai po I se skemi pe ula foi o ko pe
yo e akula matu te eva matama mo le lunga le ula ya ila ba tu fa mo ia yo e a fa me e to e fe matu eva mai ya matu fe ini ya ma fo lo tina eva matama ya ila ba tu fa mo ila ia o me ula we fo tini sa mo te le pipelo ma le ula ia ia ba tu la fa mo e ba fa mo ila makilika e ila me mo
e kera kai mi ke fsilia kai ka limo ale o kai mi a fole pelo yo ko ya Margaret Mead
yo al pipelo la ia matou.
She said, "You don't understand. He has proven me wrong." And she looked very sad and puzzled, and I thought it was very odd that I was here feeling sorry for Margaret Mead, and even stranger that I was going to have to tell her that this was not important. But I did. I said, what you have done in anthropology and for the world is not Samoa dependent. It really doesn't matter whether you were right or wrong about Samoa.
I have often said that if only we Westerners can understand the Samoans, then we can understand ourselves. And we should be thankful that Samoa was a place where issues of such great scientific importance could be studied and resolved. Samoa is a profoundly important place to me. I mean, that's where I began to think deeply about these problems. And I have an enormous debt of gratitude to the Samoans. I become very emotional when I go to Samoa because my bond with the Samoans is so deep. And I have a great love and regard for them. But this does not mean to say that I suppose that they are stainless or that they are gods or goddesses. They are marvelous human beings.
O te wha moi lava, o le a tātou tū mau pēa I le wha maoni mā le alofa, e au le wha wawau. Pau lea.
You see, when you are dealing with a matter like this, Margaret Mead's conclusion in coming of age in Samoa had become established doctrine in universities throughout America. Now, I well realized that attempting to undo that was a very formidable task indeed, and I had to go about it most thoroughly. It is apparent to all knowledgeable behavioral scientists that we must operate within a framework in which we simultaneously take into account our evolutionary history and our cultures. And it is only when these two things are combined within an interactionist paradigm that you have the imperative precondition for a genuine science of our species. Well, I have always been a heretic. I think being a heretic is the most beautiful thing, because this comes from a Greek root meaning someone who chooses for himself. In other words, a heretic is someone who thinks for himself and doesn't run with the mob. And I have always been a heretic and found great joy in it. But what you've got to be in science is a heretic who gets it right. It's no use being a heretic who gets it wrong, because then you're a pariah dog in their eyes. But if you are a heretic who gets it right, you can't do better.